Welcome back, guys and gals, to Barry Charles Footy Show. Yes, indeed, all your news right here for you about rugby league. Well, today we're going to talk about Ben Hunt. Yes, Ben Hunt, is he on his way to the Titans? Because that is the missing piece of the puzzle for Gold Coast. The Warriors, Shaun Johnson, looks like he is going to possibly miss the match. He's going to basically have to just be hopeful on the day that he is fine to play. Maybe train Friday. If he doesn't train Friday, then there's no doubt he will probably miss the game, and the Warriors have more of a chance of beating the Knights than they did Penrith, but it's going to make it very tough because Johnson is the difference between the Warriors having a chance of winning the premiership or not. And we will just talk about other related incidents throughout the course of the episode. But let's get to it here at Barry Charles. Yes, welcome back to the channel. First off, what is doing with Ben Hunt? The goods won't go away. The story just continues to deliver. Shane Flanagan wants to keep him, obviously. But clearly he wants to go. Why would you want to hold this guy to ransom? And move on, because let's be fair, Dinkum, they haven't been in the premiership race with Ben Hunt there anyway. So what's the difference of having him there or not? Where you could pay three different more players. Okay, I understand that you need a star halfback, and I understand that. But if you've got a star halfback that doesn't really want to be there and his heart's not in it, is he actually going to play his best football? Probably not, and that's where the confusion comes in. You could drag another bad season out of it if you have Ben Hunt there and he just continues. He could play bad on purpose to get out. I'm not saying people play bad on purpose, but their mind is in other directions, so maybe it's time to let ship and let it go. If that did happen, what's for the Dragons? Well, is Kyle Flanagan the saviour? Well, he can be a solid player, don't get me wrong, but with Amone, it's hard when you don't have experience. So yes, that's the problem. Can they get an experienced player to come in? Do you go? Well, I think it's a lot of players have re-signed now, so I think Blake Goss will re-sign somewhere else. But is there anyone in the Super League that could come back, maybe have a go in the halves? Because that's really where you're going to find one at the moment, because there's nothing really on the table. Not that I can think of one, but maybe there's a young number 6 over there they might want to take a punt on. There was talk about Gareth Widdop at one point, but I think they're all pretty much, it was all scuttlebug. They really want to stay at home. So it's going to be interesting because there's not really anyone on the market for the Dragons. So they would have to stick with Kyle Flanagan, and Amone would be the halves pairing to start the season if Ben Hunt went. That's probably clearly why Shane Flanagan is trying to keep Ben Hunt, but I personally would get rid of him. I understand in terms of, it could cost you for the first season, but I think you'll be able to find someone. But it's going to be interesting to see how that one goes. Shaun Johnson, yes, Shaun Johnson. What's happening with Shaun Johnson? He is limping to the finish line. It reminds me of the Dragons. I mean, not the Dragons, when he was at the Sharks. He was in beautiful form, and he gets injured just before the finals. And the Sharkies just went kaput. He was playing beautiful football, and then he did his Achilles. Now we're in the same. Now people will be questioning mark, why did he rest him if he got injured anyway? It's just unbelievable. I think it was injury played. He was carrying injuries anyway, but obviously he got injured. But the question mark is where he got injured. Did he get injured on the training track? That's what it's believed to be, but was it somewhere else? Because we know funny things can happen when you're at home with the kids and stuff like that, so different things can happen. But in terms of the Warriors season, if he doesn't play, can the Warriors win? We have to put it into context. Penrith are a different beast to the Knights. Just put it out there. Penrith are the team that know, been to the last, 3 grand finals, more than likely going to be their 4th grand final. They know how the season goes around, where the Warriors and the Knights have not been used to this, especially getting to this sort of part of the season. So the forward pack of the Warriors was doing well, but obviously defensively the Warriors are going to have to deliver something. Here I'm stunned that they didn't list Ronald Volkman in the reserves, because I would have put him straight in if Johnson's out, but they're clearly going to go with the same ship as last week. But Dylan Walker got carved up in defence. It's my question mark. They absolutely carved up. That's a big concern for me there. And the kicking game was non-existent, really. It was just couldn't get the meters. They're just not Shaun Johnson. Simple as that. Can they make shift the victory? I think if Dylan Walker runs the ball a bit more, I think they've got to go at the running game. I think that's the best chance for the Warriors with both Timon and Wright. And they've got to just do their running game. They're both runners of the ball. You just got to go boom, boom. Run hard, run straight. Be there for the offload like James Maloney used to be for the Warriors. Just be there in case we're Fanua Black offloads it to you, Tohu Harris, because they're ready to offload at times. I think this is the way the Warriors can just go up the middle. And I think that's the way the Warriors have to play. They have to outmuscle the Knights up the middle. And they gave it to Penrith. I know people were saying Penrith won easily, but I'm telling you what, the forward pack absolutely delivered for the Warriors, especially the starting forward pack. They were playing beautiful football, but they just couldn't get the finesse at the end of it. So that's the question mark going on there with. But what's doing for your clubs that are finished? What's happening? Obviously Titans are pushing to try and get Ben Hunt. They're wanting a halfback. They already got rid of Sexton. Obviously they'll probably try to get rid of Boyd if they can get Ben Hunt over the line. But where does Jayden Campbell play? That's the biggest question to me. I still think fullback, but they all seem to be pushing him to number 6 to put Kieran Foran to 7. I scratch my head there. Kieran Foran is not a 7. He's a 6. He does calm down the players, but he just doesn't. And he's injury prone as well. Let's just be fair to him. He just can't be on the field. But like Aaron Reynolds getting to the end of their career, and they have to be managed a bit more. So to try and get him to play halfback, I just don't see that working. But yeah, for me, Campbell he's fullback to me. If Brimson has to go to the centre, Brimson, that's the thing. So you got Jayden Campbell that is very much like a Reece Walsh, Latrell Mitchell. They are real impact players. Where on the other side, AJ Brimson is more like the Dylan Edwards, a lower version of Dylan Edwards, but in that category of the Tedesco's, doesn't really bring enough creativity out there. Where Jayden Campbell is electric, superpower, speed, exciting, just like his dad Preston. I really want to see him playing fullback. He should be playing fullback in my opinion. What about the other teams? West Tigers, you've got to scratch your head. Aiden Sezer, will he be a saviour? I'm not sure. But hopefully Benji Marshall now got full reign, that they can unlock the shackles. Because the team on paper, especially the forward pack, is pretty good. Can Bateman get back to his best? It's a question mark. He looked a bit sluggish this year. Can Papali'i get back to his best? They really need to go to another level. David Clemmer needs to go to another level. He went backwards this year. So there's a bit of work to be done. Stefano, with question marks, he wanted to get out. So there's a few issues going on there. Parramatta are missing a number 9, clearly. Where do you find one? It seems to be hard to find these players because in the junior levels, it's all about big players, big athletic players, but they forget about the generals and they get forgotten about and not signed. And it seems to be getting worse and worse as we go along. So that's a big question mark over the Parramatta Eels. But anyway, thank you for joining me. That's the Barry Charles Footy Show. Have a great day out there.